Okay, folks, with weather looking this glorious, the sun is shining through me windows, you wouldn't know that it was a day where more restrictions are being applied, especially to areas which are the hotspot zones in Sydney for COVID-19. And basically, we scored 239 new COVID cases. So that's a record, and it's not a very nice record. But let's just get stuck in here and just get what we can do and get it done. It's not looking too flash, folks, which is why it's extremely important that we do get vaccinated. It's the only way out. Even the authorities have conceded that. And the news channels like Channel 9 have conceded that we need to up the vaccination numbers. Okay, let's see how we go. Okay, let's see what we have. We have here, this is from my housing provider, my social housing provider. This is like online activities, for the COVID-19. We're interested in this rather fancy little QR code. I've never seen one like it. Really colourful. It looks really nice, very creative. Yeah. I do like my housing provider overall. They seem to be a really helpful and friendly group. I'm just going to line that up on the edge there, if I can. Yeah, my fingers went a bit numb this morning. I just got my morning coffee and picked something up off a trash heap to use in a future demo, and my fingers are really numb. But they're just in the latter phases of thawing out. A bit tingly, but I like that tingle sensation actually. That looks really quite nice. Going to enlarge it maybe to fit the page. I was going to do a mirror I'm going to do a mirror image anyway, but I think we're going to make it into a movement piece. So we're just going to enlarge this second piece. I don't do the activities though, folks. I'm not a social person. I'm not a community person. I do feel like I'm just working on what I do here. I'm trying to get in touch with a lost loved one. His name's Luigi. And it's really distressing being separated from him, from my angle. And it's really difficult dealing with this loneliness, this crushing loneliness that I feel, and this lockdown that we're going through is, I just got a message from someone. I'll have to finish off this demo, and I just hate it when I'm on. It's always when I'm doing demos that I get alerts, and now I have to finish off this demo after I've done this. But really, I'm so lonely without my partner. I so feel lonely without being with my partner. I really feel a sense of desolation. I don't know why I felt I had to start these demos. I really hate being interrupted. But I know interruptions do happen, and they happen for a good reason. I do get help. I am disabled, and I get help with household chores and cooking and that. So I need all this stuff that I get. I do get. It's just hard dealing with the loneliness of it all. Dealing with being without a partner that you love. It's really a tough call. It really is. Being alone and having to deal with things. I do get help, but I do feel lonely away from my partner. Yeah, that looks shit house. We fucked it up. I do think we've got to move it down a bit, or up. Maybe we could use this as our master copy. I don't know. I'm trying to get myself in. I'm really frazzled about this message I got on my phone, and I feel I have to hurry up and answer it so I don't get caught out. Because I was meant to meet someone at 9 and she cancelled it, and then I think she said it's on again, which is what I really hate. I'm really busy on my days off from work. I just can't seem to find time to do my work, my demos and that. It's really difficult, folks. I'm trying to get in touch with a lost loved one through my work. I get very lonely and sad. And I always have things that are clashing, and it really upsets me when I can't get my shit together. And I fuck it up again, folks. I'm not getting it in the right place. I'm trying to hurry. I just don't know which way to move. Which way to move it. I keep moving it in the wrong fuck up direction. I hate it when I feel I have to hurry. And when I hurry, I make things last. I panic. I just can't concentrate on my game when I get a message on my phone. I fucking hate these messages, folks. I just get stressed. And that's off the page. I don't know what to do. Maybe we could make it into a movement piece. Maybe we could use that. Shit. We're going to stick with it. I don't know which way it's moving. I don't know which way to move it, folks. I have to check. I have to look instead of just trying to use blind intuition. I'm getting shaky now, which is not a good sign. I get shaky and I don't like the shakes. Yeah, that looks better. Now we just have to move it across a little bit. Take a deep breath, girl. Take a deep breath. It's not all bad news, folks. I don't know which way I'm going to move it. We're going to move it this way. Just a fraction. We're going towards the fucking stop button in my new intuition. I hate it when I feel I'm going towards the stop button because it means I have to fucking make more adjustments. So I'm probably going to see this person at 9 if I can just finish this demo. I normally like to run all my demos at once, but I may have to interrupt for a change. And I fucked it up. I've done it wrong, and I've done it 2 down, and fuck me dead. Sorry. I never have exploded on my demos before, folks. But I'm not moving it in the right direction like I was hoping, folks. My intuition's leading me the wrong way, it feels. Or maybe there is a riddle. There's always a riddle involved, and I don't like riddles. I don't like riddles, folks. I don't like puzzles. I like things to go easy. Look at this, God. Now, what has God got to do with it? God does not have anything to do with this. He doesn't. If there is a God. If there is a fucking God, folks, I don't know. If there is a so-called God, why is there problems in this world like coronavirus? Why do we have COVID-19, folks? Why do we have COVID-19? This is our last one. Why do we have to deal with lockdown? Why are the numbers, despite all the efforts we make as a populace, and despite the efforts of the authorities who have to make these unfun rules, why is there a God in all of this? People starving, people losing their jobs because of this fucking disease, this fucking disgusting illness known as COVID-19, or otherwise commonly known as coronavirus. Why do we have coronavirus, folks? When if there is a God, if there is a fucking God, where is he? Where is he, folks? That's a good question. A lot of people are echoing the same sentiments, folks. Where is God in all of this? If there is a God, is there a God? Is there really a God, folks? What? Is there a God? That is a good question to ask. It's an interesting existential question that we have to ask ourselves as a world. Anything from our community to our local community to this world, do we have a God? Is there really a deity that looks down and supposedly takes pity on us as a world or a community or anywhere as a world? Is there a God? That's a good question. Even the churches can't meet up because of COVID. They have to do it all online. And I've always thought that a lot of Christians don't like technology. They see technology as evil, even. Because I've come across church people that seem to think technology in itself is evil. But fortunately, they don't seem to be very common. And it's a bit of a cult-like kind of a feel when churches or Christian gatherings are anti-technology. So yeah, we have to ask the question, is there a God? Is there any hope if we die of COVID? So what if you become a COVID death statistic? What happens when you die? That is a good question and a valid question. What happens to people when they die? You know, is there a place of peace or is there a place of turmoil? Do we come back as something else? So what happens when we die is a very valid question. You know, is there any hope in COVID? You know, that if we were to die of this disease, and that brings me back to another point, is that people have been paranoid about AstraZeneca vaccine. You're more likely to die of coronavirus than you are of any vaccine, including AstraZeneca. We've got plenty of AstraZeneca available in our country, in Australia, and I just exhort people to have it, because any kind of vaccine is better than no vaccine, folks. Any vaccine is better than no vaccine. We're going to try another one of these. This didn't turn out quite well. So I really, really exhort people to get vaccinated, because it's the only way out of this brutal lockdown. It's the only way out, folks. This lockdown is when it comes to bringing us closer to zero transmissions, it's a fucking failure. Even though we've at least slowed down the number of new cases, we've slowed it down, so it's a partial success, but it's not. But having to be like this indefinitely is not doable in the long run. And that looks really quite nice. We're going to use that as our master copy. So we have to fucking just keep going at it, keep obeying what the authorities say as much as you can. Try your best, just so you don't get into trouble and so you don't spread the disease further. However much we hate this lockdown with a vengeance, this is going to be a rather long piece of demo. That looks really quite interesting. Wondering if we could take this section and maybe use that. Maybe we could take that and enlarge it. Don't know if it's going to work. But basically, we have to try our best to follow the rules, and I know the rules are no fun. I know it seems like everything has become ruled by what you could call the fun police, but the fun police, unfortunately, we have to fucking follow them as much as we can without going mad. I'm thinking maybe here. I'm going to enlarge it there. Where are we going to enlarge it? We're going to enlarge it there. So we're going to need a bigger horizontal enlargement. So we might call it 300%. But basically, yeah, we have to fucking do these fucking horrible coronavirus rituals, like QR code check-ins, for example, in the shopping centre, in the shops where we buy our food and our essentials. I really miss my partner Luigi, and because of the rules I may not be able to see him, even though they've got a thing called a singles bubble, which means people can nominate one person that they can see to visit them. So one person that can regularly visit them for social and mental health reasons. South Australia and Victoria seem to have recovered from their lockdowns, half their luck, whereas we are just in the beginning of this fucking COVID coaster, and this COVID coaster is not showing any signs of slowing down. We're not drawing to the end of this ride. The ride is just getting faster and faster and more convoluted. So I'm wondering if people are contemplating the issue of death and survival and all that as well. Not just me talking about it in this demo, but if people are already considering life and death and what happens when you die and all the rest of it. I actually think maybe I should enlarge that off a bit further. I think we should make it maybe 330. But it's always good to consider the existential issues that we have in this world, that this world is not forever. It will eventually end. The thing with the world ending is that we don't know when it's going to end, folks. We have no time frame as to when it's going to end. The world is going to keep chugging along for a long time. But it may not be a long time. It could be any time that our world will end. We just don't know when. We just don't know how. Fuck. We're going to stay on that. My intuition's telling me. But basically, yeah, we don't know how and we don't know when this world will end, but there's going to come a time when it will end. So this world and all its cares will not go on forever. We've got to think of this as a brief moment in time, a brief stitch in time, and even time will meet its end somehow. And we all would have thought that we worried about this COVID for nothing. I wonder what Stephen Hawking would have to say about COVID. If he was still alive, that would be an interesting thing he'd have to say, but he never got to live to see COVID. He probably would have cringed and took pity on the human race. He probably would have come up to at least a theory as to what started this disease. We still don't know for sure how it began. There are often conspiracy theories about it, but basically I don't typically follow conspiracy theories. Like it was made in a lab, or whatever. I don't fucking believe in that shit. Don't like this conspiracy theory shit that you occasionally come across. Anyway, that's come up looking really quite interesting. I think now we can call this demo finally quits.